Ring in the new year with something you want. Fuse presents a dozen days of downloads. Fresh new music from artists such as From First to Last, The Loved Ones, and many more. It's all free. Go to Fuse.tv and download as many tracks as you like, as much as you like. Create a whole new playlist, plug in your earbuds, and that's it. Only at Fuse.tv.
It's fall, one of my favorite times of year. There's a crisp little chill in the air. It makes me want to get home and start cooking. I'm on the hunt for some squash. I'm going to teach you how to pick out the good ones and, most importantly, cook with and enjoy in your home all the different varieties of squash to be eaten. Delicious. Two of my favorite varieties of squash, butternut and acorn. These are real workhorse squash. Butternut should feel heavy in your hands, not hollow inside. If you've got that weight of the squash in your hand, then you know you're getting one that's going to be juicy, firm-fleshed, and really fresh on the inside. Now, cooking squash. People find it easier when you peel it and you peel off the skin, which is bitter, when you cook it, and just cut it up and cook it like that. I personally think it's easier to just cut the squash in half down the middle, scoop out the seeds, which you could roast separately and are delicious, and just cook the flesh in a low oven till it falls apart and it's nice and tender. Now for the acorn squash. Pick it up. It should feel heavy in your hands, because if it feels light or you even hear any seeds rattling around too much, that's a sign that the center is dried out. Don't pay attention too much to discoloration like this. It doesn't generally mean anything. Now, the acorn squash I would use specifically for just steaming or roasting. It's a really clean, light type of squash. And when you're ready to cook them and eat them, don't peel this and cook it, because the flesh inside is fairly thin. You're gonna peel and peel and peel and wind up with just a thin layer of flesh. I like to split them, dot the inside with a little bit of butter, maybe a little bit of spices, or even just a little bit of water. Cover them, let them steam until they're nice and tender. You're gonna get a wonderful, clean squash. These are some of the more unusual varieties of squash that I really love. One of my favorites, spaghetti squash. You want to pick it up and feel that it's got a nice firm exterior. This particular squash doesn't have a thick skin, but you can feel in the weight of it that the flesh is going to be juicy inside. And that's what we want. We want a good, juicy squash. Now, it's got a uniquely stringy texture, the spaghetti squash, which can be kind of disconcerting. So I like to roast them or steam them, scoop out the flesh, discard the skin, and just hack up the flesh a little bit to break up a little of that stringiness, and then it's almost refreshing. My absolute favorite. This is the queen, king, and ace of squash to me, the kabocha squash. Really brilliant orange flesh. It's almost like bringing home roasted chestnuts and squash all rolled into one. I love it. Now, when you're shopping for these squash, don't worry so much if there's a little orange patch or any discoloration. That's not what I'm paying attention to. Nice and heavy, so it doesn't feel hollow and dried out on the inside. I like when the stem is attached. I feel like maybe that means the squash has been manhandled a little bit less. But most of all, when you cut these open and cook them, you're gonna find the taste so uniquely delicious, nutty, almost roasted brown buttery flavor. Unbelievable. And who would have ever thought? I love squash because it has so many different ways you can use it in the kitchen and so many different varieties. It's like having a big party with a lot of different personalities. Give them a try, you're gonna love them.
Saturday and Sunday, every week, there's a possibility for brunch. And in my life, that's a good thing. I love brunch, and I always keep a few ingredients around to make sure that I have basically the staples to cook a really simple and delicious brunch. You know, there's no brunch without some kind of eggs. Obviously, eggs are important, not only for egg dishes, but if you wanted to make things like waffles and pancakes, you're probably gonna need some eggs. Which brings me to my next ingredient, some all-purpose flour. Of course, waffles, crepes, pancakes definitely need a little bit of flour for sure. Sugar is another one, of course, definitely key. You want to have sugar to put into your batters, and of course, some people like sugar in their coffee and tea, so sugar is definitely one of those things that you don't want to be running out to the store for at the last second. I also like to have honey around. Honey is fantastic to use in like your batters for your pancakes and your waffles, but also to put on some berries or some like really delicious thick Greek yogurt. Honey is a really good natural sweetener. And of course, some coffee. Nicely freshly ground coffee. I mean, there's no better aroma in a house during brunch or breakfast or lunch or dinner for that matter than coffee. Definitely some milk for sure. Of course, it's good for, you know, tea and coffee as well. And then I have to have some hot sauce in my house for my wife, who loves to eat eggs, whether it's an egg sandwich or some fried eggs, whatever it is, an omelet. If she has eggs, Stephanie definitely needs some hot sauce, so it's really important to have some hot sauce there as well. You know, just a few key ingredients, some sweet, some savory, and you're ready for brunch anytime.
I'm feeling this right now from the get-go. No more ballads. It is time to dance, have fun, have a good time, and love, live life. That's what it's about.
Pink, my relationship advice for you is to avoid the bad guys with the tattoos and don't put their names on you. That's bad luck. You need a nice boy.
Above the competition, beyond anything imagined, Fuse celebrates the diva, the icon, the wonder that is the woman. Above and Beyonce. Premieres next Monday at 11 p.m. 10 Central. Break it down now. Get your music on.
Patients have complex illnesses, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart failure, asthma. The list goes on.
This one right here, I have to take every day and every night.
There's these problems that I keep hearing about from my patients, specifically of the transition from hospital to home.
We're looking at discharging you today.
Some things are too complex for me without a big explanation from the doctor about what in the world they're talking about.
Discharged from the hospital. It's a critical moment when we could either deliver great care or we could fail.
I need to get stronger so I can get home and do what I have to do.
In May 2007, one groundbreaking band will enter the bubble and exit the biggest band in the U.S. One band has been handpicked by Dr. Pepper and MTV, the network famous for launching the careers of the hottest talent in the world. Introducing
Give it up for Cartel, everybody.
MTV is really excited to be teaming up with Dr. Pepper for Band in the Bubble. The success of this show is really all about picking the right band, and I think we've done that. MTV had huge success with them, but we saw that they had a lot of really big online traffic. We really paid attention to what the community and the new movement of rock fans were really looking for.
I love Cartel, they're awesome!
We write our songs for people who buy the records and love our music.
I'll see you around
show could literally be the biggest event of the summer. It could take over the whole nation. I can really see the celebrities we cover wanting to hang out with this band. I can see Lindsay and Paris fighting over them. I can see the covers now.
Summer of 2007 will belong to Dr. Pepper Band in a Bubble and
So pack our bags and get away. Well, they're catching on to us.
I don't know who did what. I don't know who's got the loot. I don't know if anybody's got the loot. I don't know who's dead. I don't know who's alive. I don't know who's caught. I don't know who's not.
We Ain't Giving You Jack. Fuse premiere. Reservoir Dogs. Friday, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.
Fuse presents live from Abbey Road. No questions.
What did you do? What did you say? What did you walk? What did you walk?
No audiences.
I won't change my life just by step on the stage.
Just great live performances.
To save you from your old way.
Live from Abbey Road, Sunday at 9 p.m. Talk without all the talking. Fuse, get your music on.